In an issue of the New Yorker about 3 months ago, there was an article by Malcolm Gladwell, who's a staff writer for the magazine. He wrote about child molesting, about how the molester insinuates himself into a community, particularly getting into the school system where he has contact with numerous children. Soon he becomes friends with a particular family so that they trust him, and he begins to molest the child. It's hard for the family to express itself because of the shame that's involved. And usually the molester gets away with what he has been doing. The article reminded me of an incident back in Aliquippa, where I grew up, in 1929 or so. I was a Boy Scout, and I had contact with our Scoutmaster, Nate Pinsker. I could not tell what Nate was doing in the community, though he seemed to be friends with everybody, particularly friends with Dad, who called on Nate to help him in the shoe store, not selling shoes, but carrying shoes from one shoe store or one part of the shoe store to another, lifting heavy boxes and helping out, particularly in the shul, with one task and another. In the Boy Scouts, Nat was friendly with everyone. He was the Scoutmaster and showed us how we should salute, how to wear the uniform, how to tie and untie knots. He also took us on 2 consecutive Christmases to the Boy Scout camp near Ambridge, about 10 miles away. There was a large cabin, and though we went in the winter time where there was snow and bitter cold, we kept comfortable by a Franklin stove and had a great time eating, singing, playing games, cooking, particularly eating. I don't remember anything unusual that happened. Then he took the troop on an overnight camp. In the evening, we cooked food, toasted marshmallows, and sang songs that we knew from Scout time. When we went to sleep, it was in pup tents, and I shared a tent with Nate. In the middle of the night, I awakened and found Nate was playing with my penis. His arm was across my body, so I turned so that he could no longer hold on to my penis. And so we both continued to sleep till morning. I did not say anything to Mother or Dad, and I didn't know if anything happened at any other time to any of the other children in the community. About 4 years ago, I happened to be talking to cousin Elmer, who lived in Coriopolis, about 5 or 8 miles away from Alacaba. We talked about his illnesses and about other cousins, and then I asked him, Elmer, have you ever heard of Nate Pinsker? He responded, yes, he was a child molester and they ran him out of town. So apparently Nate had bothered other children and they finally caught up with him and drove him out of town. Obviously, they did not present him to the police or any other border of community, but just ran him out of town. I thought about what I had been exposed to and not said anything to anybody except Richard and Sandy, Steve and Sheila and Rob and Elisa. Interesting that I do not feel that affected me, but just bad experience in my life.